Good afternoon, good evening, and welcome to the Deb
welcome.
For You YouTube show. It is great to have you with us. We have a fabulous show lined up today. We're going to be, as always, we're going to be answering the question, is being assertive the same as being authentic? And we're going to talk about the topic, being heart-led. But just before then, as always, we love to tell you about what's coming up. And today we want to talk about our programme, Me Academy. Which we're very excited about. It's starting in February. We'll be relaunching, I think, around Valentine's weekend. That's our plan, hopefully.
Yes.
And this is off the back. You may have heard us talking, if you've listened to other stuff of ours, about Relationship School. This is Relationship School 2.0.
Yeah.
This is the next kind of stage. Yeah, we've updated and installed new software, and it came out as Me Academy. So we wanted to just tell you a little bit about what you can expect on Me Academy, and why it's that. So I think, do you want to start with why? Because I think that's your arena.
So relationships are definitely my area of expertise, if you like. I love helping people around relationships. And so that was how Relationship School was born. That was why that happened, because definitely the place that I completely screwed up in my life was around relationships. And that is the place where I've turned my life around and where I see something so differently now and love helping people in that arena. So that's why Relationship School was born. But what happened when we were in Relationship School, while we were doing it, what we did, how it ran, the calls, what happened was absolutely freaking amazing. Absolutely loved it. It was just, we had a ball, we had great feedback, everybody loved it. But somehow something wasn't gelling for me in Relationship School and what we were doing. And I had this realization and thought, what we're actually doing is teaching people about themselves. We're teaching them about the relationship they have with themselves, because I can see everything stems from that. That is the crux of what we teach and what we do. And if you nail the relationship you have with yourself, as in you truly deeply understand who you are, how you function, and you go inside and get your own personal insights around that, and then are you out in the world, life will just unfold. And I don't care if there is a virus, I don't care if you're out of work, I don't care if you're whatever your circumstances, if you truly deeply understand who you are, you will be okay. You will have a grounding under you that will hold you through anything and everything. So when we were looking at it to restart it, we had a conversation and I said, something's just not quite right, because Relationship School felt like it was about relationships that you have with other people. And that absolutely 100% comes into it. But that relationship with yourself, that's what we're talking about here. That's what we get down and dirty with. So I said, it's about the person. So then we decided to shift it and call it Me Academy, because you are going to come and learn, not about me, but it's one of those, isn't
it?
I have this
funny Academy.
I have this funny thing every time I phone my dad. I say, "Hi, is that you?" And he says, "No, it's me." And I go, "You can't be me because I'm me." So it's that silly thing, isn't it? But yeah, Me Academy is learning about you, and we really will get in there and teach you and point you inward and point you to knowing you and who you are, and the results from that will be amazing. Yeah.
So look out, all the information will be coming on the website very soon, and we will be talking about it over the next few weeks, for which we do not apologise. So look out, listen out, check out the website, and it would be amazing to have you with us for Me Academy.
It would
coming
indeed.
soon.
So if you're interested and want to know more of those kinds of details, want to jump on a call with us and find out more about it, feel free to comment or reach out to us anywhere that you see us, and we'll be all over it.
Absolutely. So on with the show. So we're going to start with the question, is being assertive the same as being authentic? And last week, as we were deciding what to talk about, this was a question that kind of popped up for me, because we get a lot of those kinds of questions. As Deb was just saying about Me Academy, we look at relationships, we start with the relationship with ourselves, and that impacts on the relationships we have with other people. And often we get people come to us and say, I need to be more assertive in my relationship. I need to set boundaries. I need to make sure people know what I think about things. And I know what we talk about, and certainly our business name, Dare to Be You, points to being authentic, being who you are, turning up as the person that you genuinely are. And I think sometimes those two things, being assertive and being authentic, can look like they might be the same thing. And I just wanted to unpick that a little bit today. So I know you will have probably heard us talk before about the pendulum. So I'm going to bring that into play because I think that's a really good example. And for me, being authentic is in the middle here. And on our pendulum, being assertive is maybe over here somewhere. And being, what's the opposite to being assertive, Deb? What's a good word for that? Being unassertive?
Trodden down, unassertive.
Yeah, it's essentially being trodden down and never kind of sharing who you are in some way or another. And I know one of the things Deb and I regularly talk about when we talk about the pendulum is how if you're on one side or the other, it makes sense that you get pointed in the opposite direction. So if you've been in that kind of space of not being able to be yourself, feeling trodden down, feeling like you've got something to share with the world, it makes absolute sense that you get pointed in the direction of being assertive on the other side of the pendulum. But what unfortunately can happen is you can swing too far, and that's it. Both ends of that pendulum are as unhealthy and unhelpful to you as each other. And so what we're kind of pointing to is head in one direction or the other, but stop when you get to the middle. Yeah. And just getting to know what those places on the pendulum feel like for you. Because I know for me, when I
think that's key.
Yeah, definitely. When I've been in that headspace of just genuinely being authentic and turning up as me, it feels really comfortable. But when I've been in that, I must be assertive, they must know how I feel, they, you know, however that comes out, it doesn't feel so comfortable for me. And the feelings thing, like Deb said, it's key. And it's what we're all here for, really, isn't it? That we're all looking for a good, better feeling. That's why we get into these conversations, why we're looking for something, why we ask questions like that. We just want to feel better. So begin to look for the thing that feels the best in that pendulum. And I guarantee as you look honestly with an open heart, being authentic will be it.
When we use words like this and get into these conversations, sometimes it can be confusing what it is we're talking about, and the things can sound so similar. It can be a bit confusing where we're pointing, and that is one of the reasons why we point you back to you and say, follow the feeling. You know, don't get into, when we get into the nitty gritty, or when we get into the stories of what's going on, well, this person said this and they did that and I didn't like this, so I need to do that. We're moving away from somewhere that it's helpful to work out where we are and whether we're, you know, being authentic or assertive or any of these things. And definitely what I see around this is knowing myself and being aware of my own feelings keeps me in a place of balance. Because balance, again, it's not the same for everyone, and it's not the same in every situation. And one of the slight problems when we learn about, you know, oh, you've been too trodden down, let's teach you how to be assertive. Initially, like Bec says, what happens is someone points us to the other end of the scale and teaches us techniques or ways, whatever, to be assertive. And although it's helpful, as in it moves us from where we are on the pendulum, it moves us in the right direction. If we don't understand and somewhere in that begin to take notice of what is going on inside us, we just end up bing-bonging around on this pendulum thing and not finding that place of comfort within ourselves. Because there isn't this isn't a one-size-fits-all. This isn't you need to be heard all the time. This isn't you need to share your feelings. This isn't you need to be quiet and not be heard. This is sometimes you need to say something. Sometimes you don't. And it's about recognizing from within you what to do when, and knowing yourself and really deeply knowing who you are. You know when to do that, you know when to speak up, and you know when to be quiet. And there isn't, as I said, it's not a right, in this situation always speak, in this situation never say anything. It is always about knowing yourself, and that to me is being authentic.
Yeah.
Because an authentic person will sometimes be assertive, and an authentic person will sometimes be quiet and allow other people and appear to maybe even be bullied or trodden down. But the truth of it is, when you are truly deeply connected with that place of balance within you, you will know which to do when. And that is what is so key here, to understand what it, because we can't say always speak up here, because it's the paradox of always speak out and tell people how you feel, apart from when you don't. There's not a magic formula that says do it here, here, and here, and don't do it here, here, and here. But the magic formula is within you. There is an absolute amazing magic formula that is within you. And one of the things that we do in our work is we do something called the Warrior's Journey, and we call it the Warrior's Journey because very often, if you have been living your life at either end of this pendulum, whichever side it is, or if you have been bouncing between the two and not really found this place of balance, it can take courage to look, and it can take courage to take action from that place. So our Warrior's Journey is all about finding that courage within you. And it goes a little bit deeper into the things that we share on our YouTube show.
Absolutely. And it is that kind of, like you were saying, getting familiar with what your authenticity is, what the space is within you when you're being authentic, because there can't be a kind of golden ruler, in this moment you'll do this, and if you're over a certain age then it's this, but if you're under an age it's this, or if you're male it's that, or there is no absolutes here. It's about finding that your own voice in this, your own space in this that makes sense to you. And that, I think, is fundamentally what we are pointing to when we say dare to be you. There's a reason, and it comes again and again. I can't tell you how many times we look at our business name and go, oh yeah,
we should start a business called Dare to Be You. That's what it's all about. We came up
with that name. It's about being who you are, and what your authentic voice has to say in a given moment will be different, could be different, is likely to be different to mine or Deb's or somebody else's. And that's the point here, that we all have an individual gift to give to the world. And when we're lost in being assertive, I think for me is something that somebody came up with and made sense to them. And if it makes sense to you at a certain time, like Deb said, there will be times when that is the right step for you. But it doesn't become I must always. It's find the time within you when it's the right space to be that, to be whatever assertive might mean to you. And find the space, somewhere in us, we can recognize our own feelings and know what we're being driven to do from a really good place. And it's just the more familiar we get with that space within us, the more we identify, this feeling is telling me, yeah, I'm good here actually. I don't need to speak my mind. I don't need to tell that person what I'm feeling. Other times the feeling is kind of gently saying, it would be appropriate to share here, just gently, lovingly share here. And so on it goes. We get those clues, we get those indicators that tell us where we are, how far away from authentic we actually are. And it's just listening out for those. And yeah, we get it wrong, definitely. I know I do at times. I do something and I think, that wasn't authentic. I fell for that one. And it's just come back and start again. We get every single moment, we get a new opportunity to try again, to be authentic again, to look again at who we are and what our feelings are really pointing us to.
That really leads us on absolutely beautiful for what we're going to be talking about next, and that is being heart-led. Because you are pointing then towards a knowing within us, a guidance system that we have within us. And even when we're in a place of we don't recognize it, even when we're really out of balance, even when we're really out of whack, your guidance system is working. It never ever, from the second you're born, the entire time you're here, your guidance system never gives up on you, never leaves, and never stops gently pointing you back in the direction of peace and love and wisdom. never stops doing that. And that is why, you know, I've worked with, I've been in a very, very unhealthy relationship myself, and I've worked with loads of people who've been in a similar place, and people who've been addicted, you know, because of things that happen, because of their life, because of all things going on, you know, have made absolutely horrendous life choices and have had horrendous things inflicted on them through no fault or anything of their own. And yet still, when you begin to talk and tease things out of people, you will see a little thread of this guidance system, you know, where they did something brave or amazing, where they asked for help, where they protected someone, where against all the odds they did something. And all of those amazing, inspiring stories come about because every single one of us has this guidance system. And everything we talk about is pointing us towards listen to, find and recognize that system within yourself. Because the more that you align with it and follow it, the more amazing your life will get moment to moment, whatever it is you're doing. And the further away from it you get, your life, it will still be there and it will never give up on you, but your life might be a little more difficult. And what I see around this business that we started, you know, Dare to Be You, what we do, these YouTube shows, our website, everything that we do, is that was my guidance system. In spite of everything that my life looked, and I was about as far away from being someone who could make videos and talk in this way and help people. I was no. And yet something in my heart was pulling me in that direction. Something was saying, dare to be you. Come on, do this. This is you. Underneath all that crap that you listen to, this is you. And allowing myself to be heart-led. If you've watched any of our videos, if you've been around us any length of time, if you know us at all, you will know we just have a most amazing life. We have a fantastic time. I think it was last week we put something in our Facebook group and said, you know, are we always this bouncy? Are we always this fun? Or is it just for our lives and our YouTube shows? Well, obviously, sometimes we get tired and obviously we have our moments, but this is us. This is real. This is authentic. This is who we are. We dance around the office and have a great time. And that to me is through the following of this guidance system.
Absolutely. And I know one of the reasons we picked the topic today is because Deb is just in the process of setting up her first heart-led business networking event happening next week. And it feels so relevant to where we are and where we know so many other people are. There are times in our lives, I'm sure if you sat for a minute and thought, where you could say, oh yeah, I made that decision because it just felt right. And there's nothing else to it than that. It just felt right. And that absolutely happened for me when I decided that I was moving here to North Devon to work with Deb. On paper, I had a very secure, good...
It was the most stupid thing you've ever done on paper.
You know, I had a secure job, I was well paid, I was working my way up the career ladder. You know, on paper...
She had a great life all planned out, and then she's jacked it all in.
Came along. And, you know, they're those moments where it's like, everything,
it made no sense.
Yeah,
and
if
yet
you tallied it up, everything would say, stay in the secure job you're in, stay where you live now, your, you know, families are here, your friends are here. All of those things that we could tick, and everything could have looked like that's what I should have done. But something in me knew that this was my move, this was my time. It felt right. And that's what we mean by heart-led. The other way we kind of talk about that is kind of instinct or intuition, gut knowing. And it's really funny, I've been watching recently a crime drama thing on the TV. And I notice quite often throughout that, as this police team are investigating crimes, they kind of look at each other and one of them says, and what's your intuition? What's your gut instinct about that witness or that potential suspect? And 9 times out of 10 when they answer, their gut instinct turns out to be right. Yeah, I don't believe what they just said, or yeah, I totally believe what they just said. And it's that we have something about us.
We all have it, don't we?
Yeah, every single one of us. There's not a human being alive on the planet that doesn't have this.
We don't even know why we know. We just know.
We just know, and that's what we mean by being heart-led. And it gives us a much, much lighter experience of life. we were talking to somebody earlier who was trying to make a decision between two different things, and as they were saying kind of what the arguments for and against each decision, what I noticed was that person was just in their intellect trying to fathom out the right answer. But the minute we drop into our hearts and go, what do I want to do? What is the right thing for me personally? Not getting it right for everybody else to approve of, but just me in this moment, we just get quieter and we feel it in us, that peaceful space. When we're up in our heads trying to fathom out the correct answer, it's hard work. Life is really hard trying to work it out. But as soon as we're in that space of just follow my heart, what does my heart want here? And go with it. Even if I can't tell you how many times we've had an idea and gone, that feels so right. Don't know where this is going to go. Why would we be doing this? But it just feels right. And it's amazing what comes, and it's beyond what we could have imagined we thought we were doing with it. But that happens again and again and again.
That's absolutely happened every step of the way in our business, that we've done.
Mm.
Every time we've gone off thinking, yeah, this is how you should run a business, this is how it should happen, it's kind of stalled a little bit. And every time we've gone, well, I've had this idea, and we've gone, what?
Let's just run with it.
Let's just run with it. Let's just do it. Let's just follow this and see what happens. Amazing things have happened. And the more that we have started to trust that, I know over the last few months, our business has exploded and all sorts of things have been happening for us, and I know that has absolutely come with us taking this, trusting our heart and being heart-led to a whole new level. And I'm really excited because, like Bec said, yes, just at the moment I'm in the middle of arranging my first ever heart-led business networking event, and that's just grown legs all on its own, hasn't it?
That was a heart-led idea.
Yeah, it was. It just came to me in that way, and it's like, yeah, I really, really want to do that, and it's already kind of growing. So if you are interested in that at all, if you do run your own heart-led business and you would like to get in touch and find out what's going on there, please do. Even if you're watching this video down the line, I'm sure something's still going on around it.
Yes, as you said, you've got dates in the diary for the whole year already for it.
I have, absolutely. So
yeah. I've just noticed you're wearing your heart jumper.
Well, I looked at that earlier and thought, yes, look at this. This was the jumper that I put on this morning.
Someone plans their wardrobe today.
Oh, every day. Everything I ever do is meticulously planned.
Or heart,
obviously. Or I just follow my heart. Guess which it is.
Yeah. So that, for us, that is absolutely how we turn up in life. And I know we both notice if we've slipped out of that and we've gone into head-led, if we've gone up into, oh, I must do this or I should that, it feels uncomfortable, and it kind of comes back round to what we were talking about in the question. Our feelings are an amazing guide. So they tell us if we're following our heart and being authentic, or if we're up in our heads and trying to follow the right steps and the shoulds and the musts. And they come with those feelings on purpose, because the more we get into being heart-led, being, following our wisdom and our intuition, the easier life unfolds for us.
Absolutely. And those feelings are really, really great, because what I was thinking when you were saying that is I love the fact that I've got an intellect.
Yeah.
And we're not saying scrap off your intellect, but it is saying those feelings tell us when we should be. If we're in our intellect and that is really comfortable and that's great, that's where we should be. But I know I heard you talking to someone this morning and used an analogy that I sometimes use around ice skating boots and football boots, and both of them are really useful for what they are useful for. And if you tried to play football in ice skating boots, you would feel something that would point you in the direction that you weren't doing the right thing. And this is exactly the same. There are definitely moments to be in our intellect. There are certain things our intellect is great for, but certain things that it's not. And it's just like, what should you be using at the moment? Your ice skating boots or your football boots? What game are you playing? And follow your heart in those places where the intellect it's beyond the intellect, and it gets painful when we try to use our intellect. Bless you. Something that is beyond it.
Yeah.
So So next week then,
next week we're going to have just a topic, and we are going to talk about decision making.
Oh, I don't know if I can make the decision to do that.
It was something that came up in a call this morning that sparked something for me around where we go with that and how we do that, and possibly some of what we've already talked about in today's show. We'll give you
a little bit of a
clue
spoiler
as
alert
to what we might talk about next week, but we hope you will join us for that next week, and we look forward to seeing you somewhere very soon.
Absolutely. And as always, if you want to get in touch, you know where we are, feel free to comment or reach out.
Absolutely.
Take care and have a great week.
Bye.
Bye.